the approach has been to do whatever you want and see later what will be ruled illegal in the courts or not. Um, and they've applied that approach to the federal government much more aggressively than in the first administration. There's the question of, does the president actually have the power to do what the president's staff and the Office of Management and Budget said they were going to do yesterday? uh, can they just stop spending, even though Congress passed laws saying the federal government was going to spend money for those programs? There's a lot of reason to think that they can't do that. Congress has the power of the purse, um, and that's their most important power in the sense that the federal government can't spend money that hasn't been authorized by laws passed by Congress. And also, the laws passed by Congress aren't a menu that the president can pick and choose from, but instead are the law that the president has to follow. So, for instance, you know, a president doesn't like Social Security and can't decide, well, we're just not going to do it. Like Congress passed a law for Social Security, but that's just a menu that I can choose from. No, that's the law, and Congress has to spend money on that. There is a small category of these things that you could imagine where the law doesn't really specify where the funds are spent, where a pause and a switch a switch to priorities would be legal. You're right. So it's not that 100% of switching priorities and a slight spending pause, if it was just a spending pause, would be illegal. It's more a concern that clearly that's the spending pause is widespread enough that it seems to be a pause on a lot of spending that the president doesn't have discretion in the law about how to spend. President Nixon had started trying to do significant impoundment like this, refusing to spend money that is in that legislation says the president's required to spend. And Congress passed this Impoundment Control Act. You could see the Impoundment Control Act as, in a limited way, delegating some authority to impound to the president. The Impoundment Control Act says that uh, the president, if they want to not spend money, impound that money, not spend money that law says they're supposed to spend, they can request Congress to change the law, basically rescind that spending, and they can pause that spending for 45 days if they give Congress notice. So the president and the president's staff and the Office of Management and Budget don't seem to be following the rules of the 1974 Impoundment Control Act. So that's what's led a lot of people to be concerned that this refusal to pay um, legally mandated spending doesn't seem to be following the specific rules of the Impoundment Control Act and thus may be illegal.